To welcome everyone to the Monday, April 13th, Pine Bluffs Town Council meeting. Would everyone join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The first item on the agenda is an award presentation for Officer Matthew Miller.
Good evening, Town Council. This is Life Saving Award. This is Matthew Miller's second award. On Saturday, April 4th, the Pine Bluffs Police Department, Pine Bluffs EMS, Laramie County Fire District 5 and 3 was dispatched to a vehicle rollover on Interstate 80 mile marker 401. It was determined to be a semi that had rolled over and blocked all of eastbound lane. Officer Miller's quick response, he was able to determine that the sole occupant and driver lost his arm and was able to apply a tourniquet. After talking to doctors later on after the fact, that quick application of the tourniquet and correct application of the tourniquet ultimately saved this guy's life. So I will have EMS Director Pat Curry present this award, and we have a medal for him as well.
I'm happy to say this is becoming a habit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
Thank you very
Great
much.
work,
I
great
appreciate
work.
that.
And we have the medal
Yeah.
in the mayor. What do you want to say, Jim?
Okay, first let's just do Pat and Matt, and then we'll get the rest of the department in there. Austin, could you pull the sign away? Thank you. Great. Can we get the rest of the entire, I'm sure everybody responded to that, but, yeah, go ahead and keep that. Stay in there, Pat.
So
There you go, because you trained them all, so you get blamed for everything. Great. And then the one with the mayor? Oh, you're gonna present a medal to him? Okay. Is that the medal from the town council or from the life-saving award?
it's just that it goes with the life saving.
It goes with the life-saving award? Okay. If you would hand it to Matt? Great, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Austin, you want to get in there with both of those? Hold that thing up too. No, hold that thing up. Great, thank you guys.
Good job.
Yay, Matthew!
The next matter of business is the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. New business and action items is Resolution 2026-01, a resolution approving a proposition to impose a 1% specific purpose sales tax and use tax in Laramie County, State of Wyoming, for the exclusive purposes of funding specific purposes for specific amounts. The propositions to be voted on at the election to be held on August 18, 2026.
This resolution is for the 6 penny ballot initiative. So you'll see in this resolution, it has listed out not just ours, but every community's ask and the dollar amount that correlates with that. After a handful of meetings, the commissioners have decided that this is the way we'll move forward. The ballot will be primarily very infrastructure focused. I think as we all take an evaluation of our existing infrastructure, as we take a look at the current fiscal climate, our inability to make revenues, that's where we've all decided to kind of lay our priorities in conjunction with public safety. So you will see that there is a good deal of public safety. We even will have a rural fire, just its own little home within the ballot, and that is for all of our rural fire districts, including the possibility of a new fire station for our fire district number 5. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to voice those, any concerns, but otherwise, we haven't changed anything for ours in Pine Bluffs. Everything that we had spoken about before is what went to the commissioners. They did move our airport and cemetery projects to infrastructure. And that was agreed upon with everyone in the room, so we're all good on that.
I wanted to talk a little bit about with the origin of the sixth penny tax. It initially was for like town enhancements. It was primarily focused at parks and community centers and beautification projects in the small towns. And as the tax environment has gotten tighter and tighter, and it's been more and more difficult to run a small town, more of the items have turned into critical infrastructure items. And so I'd really like to encourage everybody to support the sixth penny tax, because it's gotten to the point where many of the communities that are involved in this really need it to just function on a reasonable level. And so I would really encourage people when it's time to vote to please vote yes on these ballot items, because they are really becoming critical for the survival of our town and the other surrounding communities.
I think Commissioner Malm said in our meeting, this was very clearly a list of needs, not wants, and it was clear that we all have a lot of them right now, so. Thank you, Kim, for putting the work in to get this ready.
You're welcome. Yes.
With that, I will move to adopt resolution 2026-01.
Second.
Hearing a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. The second item on new business and action items is to review and approve 287G Task Force Pine Bluffs Police Department. And I would like to, on that one, before voting on this, I'd like to emphasize that entering into this agreement is first and foremost about the security of our law enforcement officers. Without entering into this agreement, our officers are going into potentially dangerous situations completely blind. Entering into this agreement does not change the way our officers enforce the law. It neither enhances nor decreases the way our officers enforce immigration. So before voting on this, I'd like to encourage the council to put the safety of our law enforcement officers over the security of people who have entered our country illegally. And that's piece on that.
I'll move to approve the 287G task force.
I would second it.
Hearing a motion and a second to approve 287G. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is visitors' comments. Yes, sir. Please approach the podium, announce your name and what you would like to talk about.
So Steve Dimas with Helena, and our engineer asked me to come to the meeting tonight for the, I guess, approval of the building permit, which was done and on a consent agenda with everybody. So if there was any questions on that, not that I'd have the answers for it, they asked me to show up for that. But I appreciate all the help that the city's done over, the last year on the ground swapped, and we'll start building here and getting dirt work pretty quick, and appreciate the approval from everybody, so.
When do you think you guys will start construction?
When he called me, he said, come here, this is approved, we'll start dirt work here within the month,
So you're gonna start right away? That's
Yeah.
great.
yeah. And then there'll be a plan B that another year from now, we're gonna have another addition on it, so.
Kim, when does it look like the sewer will be in Foxtail?
They are breaking ground tomorrow.
So they're breaking ground tomorrow, so I think the timing will be close, but we can probably have the sewer line in there and get your project rolling.
Yeah, appreciate it. It's been a 2-year deal for us, so,
Yeah.
yeah, so appreciate all the help.
I had seen a lot of the back and forth between the lawyers out east and all, and yeah, it's been a work in progress for sure.
All ours are paid by the hour, I think. I'll leave it with that.
Yeah. That explains a lot.
Yeah.
We have the building permit in front of us, but for the benefit of everybody else, can you talk about, what you're building?
So for now, it's the fertilizer plant, which, I mean, that's been there, and we call it working out of the FEMA shed for the 8 years that Helen has owned it, and then, previous to that when it was Centennial. But the first phase on it is an office building, so we'll have a brand new office building, a scale, and then a warehouse. And then phase 2 on that will be a liquid plant. That'll be entirely enclosed, so for rain or wash off or that, that'll probably be, this is 26, that'll probably be spring of 27 before we get that. I just turned that in for capital, and then probably 500,000 to 1 million gallon fertilizer tank on that. And then there's a future dry plant on there, but I'm pretty sure the way this thing's work, not saying anything about my age, but I hope to be retired before that thing ever gets put through, so. It'll be a little bit on that, whether that happens or not, but it should be it's gonna be a nice facility, and and we've been working out of what we have for all those years, so it's gonna be nice to have something nice to work out of and have some room, so.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks.
you.
Hello, my name's Joshua Tangeman.
Hi, Josh.
I have been working with Kim and Ali Litza for the church, and I just didn't know if it needed to be on the agenda or just to bring it up in the meeting right now. Well, I think what happened is the church owns some property and we're trying to sell a portion of it. And 75 years ago, there was some sort of error at one of the new additions that was added to the town. It was 33 feet of the property. And so I think Ally and Kim and maybe the attorney here have been working on figuring out a way to get a quit claim deed maybe to take care of that. Is that true, Alex?
Yes.
That's attorney-client privilege.
All right, then don't answer. So I don't know what approval process I need to do to go through that process, but it would help with the sale of a piece of property. And then, I don't know if you need anything else on that piece from me, but there's a part 2 to that. And the part 2 would be, by state statute, we're not allowed to move a line. And so there's actually 6 lots that the church owns. And to be able to sell the house, the first 2 lots would create a boundary that's only 2 feet from the church building, which violates the, I think, 5-foot limit. And so we've had the surveyors replat that, and I have a draft form for that, but we really can't get that done until the quitclaim process is through. So whatever I need to do to help that process along, I'd be grateful.
Mayor? There was appears to be a bust in the chain of title. I talked to Jonesy at Stiles, and he's usually spot on that kind of thing. And so there were 6 lots that were defective, and title was unclear. So we do need to straighten that out. But as Josh was talking about there, to satisfy the current setbacks, and I think they're 10 feet, aren't they, or
In that
in
area,
there? I
is
think they're
that,
10, but it's gonna require a replat to adjust where that line is.
And I have a copy of that if anyone needs to see it, the draft version of that.
So we're gonna require resurveying all of it and getting proper,
It's already been surveyed.
Yeah.
it's been surveyed,
Yes.
so we're past that hurdle.
Correct.
Then what's the next step that we need to do, Kim?
I need to
Alex?
get the deed done.
You need to get the deed done.
I need to
okay.
do the deed.
Do you have everything that you need to be able to do?
Well, I was a little bit concerned, just because, I mean, yeah, short answer is yes.
Okay,
However, sometimes title companies can be a little persnickety about how they want things done.
yeah,
But then I discovered that the sale they're doing doesn't have title. So I guess if you're not working with a title company,
I
You
think
don't
that
care
might be a
about
misunderstanding. We are using a title company,
oh, which one?
First American.
Oh, well, then it's easy. Do you have a title commitment yet?
No, I will by the end of the week.
Send it to me.
Okay?
We'll see how good Jennifer Page is up there at finding title defects. That should make it simple. That's what we're looking for.
okay. So short answer, Josh, everybody's working on it. As soon as we can get all the paperwork in order, I don't see any reason why it won't happen the way you want it to.
Thank you. And then for the second piece, do we have to wait for the next meeting, or can I give you that draft so you can see what that looks like because that's a second step that I think we need approval. So I just got this afternoon.
Oh, did you? Okay, great, yeah.
Anyway, I don't know if that's,
I can get this out to everybody and
okay.
you can,
I can email it too. It's already in a digital version,
okay.
if it's
super.
helpful.
Yep, that'd be
Cool.
great.
So if you need anything else on that, that'd be the only thing that's holding up the sale at that point.
Okay,
Thank you.
you bet.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Josh. Any other visitor comments?
you need to talk?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You ready for it?
Yeah.
Kind of a department update, because it's been a bit. And then just some numbers for the council from the EMS department. And since the town is just kind of growing and expanding, it's a good time to maybe just put something on your radar. As our population grows and we grow, obviously then town services will have to grow as well. And EMS is often third fiddle everywhere, not just here, to EMS or to fire and police, and that's normal. We're used to that, but I don't like that feeling, so I like to get ahead of things when we can. So just some numbers for you. The last 4 years, we've had 657 billed EMS calls. The number's way higher than that if you count refusals, stop and goes, or other type of calls, public assist, things like that. So we average 164 EMS billable calls per year. This year, we're at call number 58, and 19 of those were in the last 2.5 weeks. We had kind of a boon here recently with calls. Not sure why. You can never predict those kind of things, but we are growing. Our staff has maintained between 7 and 9 for the past 10 or so years that I've lived here, so the staff really hasn't grown to meet the new challenges. We lose a couple, we gain a couple. We have put on 3 training courses, though, in the last 2 years since I took over as director. 3 different levels of training we've increased. We took a year off for some budgetary concerns, but I foresee us having to do more training in the future because some of us have been doing this a very long time, and I don't think we're going to keep some of these folks around forever, and they want to retire and move on, and we've been leaning on a few of these folks for decades, and I'd like to see some new blood brought into the department, however we want to work on that, recruitment, etc. Other small communities this size, the closest one is Kimball. They have a full-time EMS person. It's a bit more robust than what we would need, but there are options where you could have a full-time EMS person, 3 shifts, similar to what the police department does. Not terribly expensive, but something definitely would have to plan for a couple of years out. Or we'd have to find a way to increase the on-call pay, because currently, as it sits, we have a 2 shift per month requirement for the EMS folks to pick up a call shift. And because of our levels and staffing, you could get a paramedic or you could get an EMT. They're both going to do a great job, but some calls warrant different levels of care, and it's hard to really gauge those. If no one is available or no one is on call, if you're unaware of our system, Laramie County system, you're going to have to wait 30-plus minutes for the next ambulance to show up from Cheyenne. Maybe Kimball if you're lucky and they're not busy. You got a 25-minute wait or longer. So my fear is not currently we're okay. I'm not asking for anything right now. I just want to kind of get ahead of the game and let you know that if we continue our growth, et cetera, we're going to have to also find another staffing mode for the ambulance service down the road, if that makes sense.
So Pat, incentive is always something that you need, so you're talking about the paying incentive. How, on the billing end of it, how competitive is Pine Bluffs with AMR or Kimball? How are we doing on
Great question, Mr. Mayor.
the revenue level that we could or should be at?
Was it 2 years ago? Right after I became director, I don't know if you were on the council then, I don't recall your time of service, but we increased rates to match AMRs. We did a survey and we matched their current rates, so we are the same. If you rode with AMR or us, it's roughly the same. They charge a bit more for mileage, I believe, but we're competitive with their rates. And Kim has been hard at work on the billing end, because prior to this current administration, we had a huge red account with previous billing that was not being collected. That has since ramped up, so we should start to see those effects hopefully soon. And with the increase in call volume and transports, we should start to see more revenue coming in. But the quick fix would just be an increase in on-call pay to get people to kind of give up their Sunday to listen to the pager all day. More than currently, we get about $1 an hour to do that. And then it's not, if you looked at other services, that's way below what if you pay a plumber to be on call or other folks to be on call, they make significantly more.
So we brought our fees up to what AMR was doing 2 years ago. Are they still doing?
I couldn't answer that question. That 2 years ago, roughly this summer.
A lot has happened in
Yeah.
2 years as far as inflation.
With that new bill, though, that got passed at the state level, that helps that Medicare gap, that should help tremendously, because a lot of our demographics have Medicare, Medicaid.
A lot of the calls are
Yep,
Medicare.
Yep, and that will pick up the difference, because before we were getting 0 to 30% of the actual bill back, and that's gonna cover that gap. So hopefully that will,
That
whenever that
definitely
kicks
will
in.
help a lot.
Yes, sir. Yep. So, not a complaint, not a request, just kind of a heads up that you're gonna see me again. Hopefully next budget cycle, maybe with your help, some planning or some other solutions that you could assist us with.
Can you remind me, because I feel like in my time, we never really got anywhere with it, with AMR, and when they jump in with you, or you
Right.
trade patient, however the rendezvous occurs, that sometimes we weren't being compensated for our time leading up to that. Have you been able to find any success with that?
Yes, great question. So we remedied that when we changed the billing cycle. And prior to that too, our personnel weren't getting paid for those kinds of calls. But I fixed that right away, because they still had to give up an hour or more of their time, and that was fixed also. But yes, if, say we transport to Egbert, that would be like a treat and release, and then we would hand off care to AMR and they would continue transport. Or if the ideal situation is AMR jumps in with us, they can bill us, but I have yet to see a bill from them. It's called an intercept fee. They could charge us $200 or something like that for their personnel riding in with us. They haven't done that yet, and that's pretty rare that happens. But usually if we need the help, they hop on, and then we still get to bill the patient for the full transport.
Awesome, thank you.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Something that I'd like to say as an accolade to you is, for a long time, a number of the EMTs were all just basics. And at this point, what is the level of the EMTs that you have, and
That's a
where
great
are we
question.
at?
Yeah, and I like to brag about that in our little EMS
I
circles.
think you need a pat on the back for it too.
Thank you, sir. We currently have 2 paramedics. We were paramedics before, Jenny Michaud, and myself. Right below those folks, we have Brenda Armstrong, who's an intermediate, they call them I-99s, right underneath the paramedic. And then 2 folks you may know, Stephen Michaud and Tim Michaud, thank you. They are both at the same level as Brenda. So a town our size to have 2 paramedics and 3 intermediate level EMTs is not normal at all. So you're in pretty good hands. Right underneath those folks are the advanced EMTs. You got Derek, Kyla. Those are the 2, because it was Stephen and Tim, but they moved up a level. And then underneath those folks, we have Christy Barker's an EMT, and then 2 new folks. Kyla Gordon is an AEMT, and then 2 new folks who are still going through they're basically EMS drivers. And don't ever call an EMT or a paramedic an ambulance driver. Worst thing you can do, right? Because they're vastly different levels of training, okay? Yeah, so, yeah, you got a good crew right now, and I just don't want to lose that level of patient care that we have currently in the next few years, so. Thanks for your time, appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Pat. Appreciate the report. On with additional department reports.
No, but I guess 2 points. One, first, thanks, Pat, and if there's anything that we could maybe start looking at now, I guess bring it to Kim since budget stuff starts soon, probably next meeting, maybe. And then the other thing was, everyone's aware of how dry it's been. I'm wondering if we need to start considering what water restrictions or something might look like.
Yeah, that might be something that we need to look at.
I know that's not fun, but I was walking in my backyard the other day and it was like crunching. I'm being stubborn, I don't want to water you.
I know that we're under fire watch conditions now. I don't think that are they restrictions?
I don't
at the
think
moment?
it's
I
a
don't think
ban
it's-
yet, but
I don't
it
think
is
it's a ban yet, but it's
watch.
something that's, yeah, it's getting critical. And there's already been a number of brush fires this year, and normally we don't have any going this time of year.
So currently, the BOPU has, it's scheduled that folks can water up to 3 days a week. No watering is permitted between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. And I would just like to also stress that, you know, the town has taken great strides to ensure that all of our watering happens after 9 p.m. And that is primarily not only for the water use, but our electric consumption. As everybody is watering, we are draining our tanks. We need to pump the water from our wells to refill the tanks. So it's great when people can do that, you know, in the late evening or the very early morning hours.
And the pumps are also on a demand
That's correct, they are.
charge, so it works to our advantage to only run the pumps at night if we can while demand is low.
Correct, yes.
And that's something that people need to be aware of, is we're not filling the tanks during the day typically.
Right. And it's also probably not known by many folks, but our Pine Bluffs Water Company has to pay our Pine Bluffs Electric Company for the use of electricity.
Do you have a sense of how much water the town uses as a whole each day or per month?
I can get that for you here. I have it based on a month. Actually, I can't put my hands on it at the moment, but if we move on to some other stuff, I'll have it for you. I hate for you to wait.
Can I ask a different question?
Yes.
Do you have any idea how many hours the well has to run to replenish the tanks each day?
I'll have that in that same report once I put my hands on it.
Very good.
And in the summertime, it's actually quite a bit. It takes us close to all night long to refill our tanks.
You have anything, Dave?
No, that was it. Thank you.
So I have on the Laramie County landfill has announced a pretty substantial rate increase on the tipping fee. We're currently at $40 a ton, and I believe it's going to $60 a ton starting July 1st. I think that that's something that the town's not gonna be able to absorb. I think that we're gonna have to change our trash rates to reflect the increased tipping fees at the Laramie County landfill.
That's not awesome.
Do you have anything, Ally?
On the 6 penny stuff, I didn't talk about it during the resolution because that didn't feel like the right time, but in the next few weeks, I think you will see that the county commissioners will start putting out some messaging, and so as that comes along, I will pass that on. The last time I talked to Gunnar, he was still trying to figure out what that could look like, and, if we all just use the same little penny guy who shares a message, or what that may look like, but so we all kind of have a cohesive, outward approach to that. So as that comes together, I will keep you guys posted, but I agree with Mayor Michaud. Now more than ever, this is pretty critical for all of our communities, so just keep an eye out for those things, for our residents. Keep an eye out for those things as we release that. And WAM has been pretty quiet as everyone takes a quick nap after legislative session, but I got a phone call about some interim things today, so I guess we'll start getting, we'll start getting a move on some of those interim topics. One of the things that we were talking about today is the potential of reclassifying dispatch communications workers from just like a regular employee status to first responders, which would then allow them to have some mental health benefits through workers' comp. And hopefully, as that's kind of a quick turnover rate, then there's some retention within those positions. So that's one of the things that we were talking about today, and hopefully we can get the Laramie County Combined Communications crew on board to help us out to push that along. I think that's really important. So that's all I have.
Okay, so I have a question. The sixth penny is broken into 13 different propositions. Are those voted on individually, or is,
Each proposition is voted on.
so, so they're, each one is individually voted on?
Yep.
Okay, is there anywhere, is this on a website that anybody that's interested in seeing what these propositions are could go
Yes, it
to
will
view them?
be. I believe the plan was that after all of us have approved the resolution, which we have a May 1st deadline for each council to approve that.
Okay.
After that, they will be rolling out some sort of website. But right now, the papers have been running this. I think Wyoming Tribune Eagle did last week. And then you'll see that it will hit the website probably May 1st. We'll have some sort of county-wide, whether it's on the commissioner's website and it's a link on there, or whether we have our own website. I'm not really sure how that will look just yet, but we will let everyone know. And it's something that we could probably just put a link to on our Facebook page and our website.
Yeah.
Also, will the Post likely put them in the paper?
If we get it, yep, we will put it in the paper. Resolutions and where to find them and procedures and everything.
Okay. Again, I'd really like people to strongly consider voting yes on all of these because they're very desperately needed. Okay, you have anything?
I do. The senior center, again, had some changes in staffing, but Alicia's on top of it. Side note, through that, I started attending some community roundtables and meeting with some people from CRMC and looking at some of the community paramedicines and community senior living and ways to get healthcare out here to some of our seniors that can't always make it to Cheyenne. And there's actually a lot of innovative thought going on with different options and ways. So I'm going to continue attending some of those and looking at ways for it to be helpful out here. And I will have a synopsis and some ideas for us as a town as I get more information from CRMC. And then I also wanted to say thank you to Pat, because what a lot of you guys don't see is he might not be on the call, but he's medical control for them. Like, he's walking out of a basketball game to answer the phone and provide, like, yep, this is where this is, or yep, go ahead and maybe use this medication instead of this one. Or the after call on the way home that you did a good job, you did fine, you did your best. The Sunday afternoon when they're doubting themselves and feeling they didn't do anything, and he's answering his phone then. So his call time is something that a lot of people don't see because it's not written down. And it's pretty significant, along with the training that you brought up. So as somebody who sees that side of it, I wanted to say thank you.
Absolutely, Pat. I do know how much goes into what you're doing, and it is very appreciated.
Thank you, sir.
Alex, you have anything?
I have a lot of things, but we can't talk about them. But I did have a question for Ally. What's the total on the 6 penny this time?
Oh, it's pretty high.
It's high. I've just put it away. Hang on one second. I have the fancy Gunner spreadsheet that'll help. I think it's like one, I'm gonna get that wrong, hang on. Here we go. The total is 170 million.
Yeah, that's a lot. How much of that is Cheyenne?
Most of it.
A lot of it. Actually, Laramie,
The sheriffs have quite a high one.
they do have a high one. Kim, can you remind me, they decided 40% for each of, for Cheyenne and Laramie County, and the rest of us are splitting, nope, that's not correct. 45 each.
45
And then the rest of us are splitting 10%. So equally, the county and Cheyenne are splitting 45%. Or they're both getting 45% of that 170
They're
million.
each getting 45%. And then out of the 10%,
We get
Pine Bluffs,
5.
Evan, and Burns divide that up.
We get 5.
So
Yes,
And there's 2 to Alvin and 3 to Burns.
yes.
the sheriff's department alone was 24 million.
That does fall under the county's share.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it
That's
is under the
45%.
county.
Yeah. Let me make sure I got the final one. I opened draft, but I know the numbers right. There we go.
At a glance, it looks like about 73 million for the city of Cheyenne.
Probably.
Yeah. Anything else?
That's it?
How about Austin? You have anything?
Want to announce that, I think everyone's seen the Facebook post, we do have a job opening. Want to announce officially, Officer Miller has, accepted a position with the Montana Highway Patrol. I know he's gonna do great things with them, it's where he's originally from, and, I wish him the best of luck. We're sad to see him go. He's done great things, obviously, about life-saving awards, but it's more than that. His attention to detail, his willingness to respond when needed, because we're a small department, has been extraordinary. And so I wanted to publicly announce that we do have that opening. We are recruiting. We're in the midst of ramping that up this past week, and officially announce that he has accepted that position, and wish him the best of luck. Sorry, any questions on that?
I also would like to personally thank you, Matt, for your service here. The community is definitely losing a patriot, and I appreciate you. I appreciate what you've done while you were here. You will definitely be missed, and I would like to thank you again for your time here.
Second, we're ramping up our kind of summer focus. We are redoing our copy and safe program. We're gonna be working with the park and pool project, getting that going. And, excuse me, and our regular combination with the Laramie County Sheriff's Office as well, doing those extra projects, so. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you.
One second.
One more?
I do want to, as a, member of the first responder community, I wholeheartedly agree with everything Pat, and being in different agencies throughout my career and then living in different areas, we have it great out here. Between EMS and fire, but especially, EMS, the level of trainings that his guys have and gals are far above what I've seen on volunteer departments, and this is to include Sydney. So, I wholeheartedly agree that whatever we need to supply them, that we do that. Thank you.
You have anything, Leanne?
Yeah. I sent you guys, or I put it on the council pack, the Wampa, you probably saw the Wampa reservation. Wampa is having a board meeting in Guernsey, which normally they have it, up by Cody Powell area, so this is probably as close as it's been in a while. They're having a board meeting May 21st, and then a rate class following that you guys are all invited to. And then also the dinner the night before, May 20th. So that's what I put on the council packs. If you guys wanna think about it, check your schedules, and then just let me know at the next meeting if it's something you wanna attend. They have to have a head count by May 8th, so we have
Okay.
a couple weeks.
By May 8th?
Mhm.
Okay.
I think I would be interested in going to that rate class.
Okay, yeah, I think it would be good to attend, at least a few of us.
Is Justin gonna represent us
I'm sure,
at that?
yes,
Okay.
I'm sure he's planning on it, but, yeah, if some of our council could go, that'd be good.
I will try to attend.
Okay, I'll get back with you before May 8th and
Okay.
we'll get RSVP'd. That's all I have.
How about you, Kim? What do you have?
I have been fully engrossed in the audit and in the budget, so I haven't had, much going on other than, getting the change order ready to go, with the engineering firm for the industrial park. And just working through a few other, concerned citizen issues. And then I'd like to let you all know that, this water report that we do on an annual basis goes to the state engineer's office, and it generally runs from October through September, and for the 2025 year report, we used a little over 90 million gallons for the year, or we produced a little over 90 million gallons. Of course, with the largest, the average during our summer months was 12.7, let's see, the average, yeah. 12.7 million for the summer months, so, we go through a lot of water here in the community. And again, we also have to make sure that we are mixing our shallow wells and our deep wells. Our shallow wells are great producers, but they are also high in nitrates, so we need to mix. We usually have one deep well and one shallow well pumping at the same time, so that it's being mixed according to whatever the formula is that the engineers have provided us, for that ratio. Our deep wells are the well 5, 9, and 10. On average, they pump probably about 12 million gallons a year, and then our shallow wells are also pumping at the same, pretty much at the same rate.
Do you know, has our water level dropped significantly, or how much it's dropped, say, from this time last year? Or is that information that we could tank.
As far as well level, is that what you're asking about?
Yeah, the water
The
level.
water level on
in
the
the
wells?
well.
Let me let you know that. So,
So Dave, out on Tim's farm, the water level's actually come up over the last few years.
yeah, our water, it appears that our water levels, and I can share this report with you so you can look at each well. Each well report reports a little bit differently. It looks like, for instance, well number 1 looks like it has, increased, or should I say, our depth to water has increased, which is on the negative side. But at our deep well number 5, that has decreased quite a bit. So if you look at this report, it'll be it's very easy to read and just see, where our levels are. So again, it just depends on which well.
So Kim, does it look like the deep wells are going down, but the shallow wells are gaining?
Let me see here. No, it just looks like it depends on the location of the
Depends
well.
on the well, okay. Is that in on reports?
Yeah, that's all I have. Sorry, I've been, like I said, pretty tied up doing some internal stuff.
Okay. Announcements and meetings?
Our next meeting will be Monday, April 27th at 6 PM. We will have a workshop that day at 4:30.
Okay. Anything else? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I'll second.
You have something
Nope, just moved it.
moved in second? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.